Some men are just locked out of dating, and they're locked out of ever being able to start a family. There's a whole entire spectrum of human experience that certain men, such as myself, are completely locked out of. I went to the zoo the other day with my mom and my little cousin, and I don't know if any of y'all have been to a zoo lately, but I think I was probably the only man there that didn't have a woman. I mean, I was with my mom, but every other man there was either on a date or he was there with his wife and his kids. And just seeing all those men there with their families, getting to experience the joy of seeing your kids get to see a giraffe for the first time or whatever, and just looking over at your wife and you smile at each other. I can only dream about being in that position. Imagine the level of pure contentedness you would feel in that moment. Just knowing you got a woman that loves you, you got kids, you got a partner in life that's so invested in you, she chose to bring new life into this world with you at the helm. She wanted to make little copies of you and her together. You got a whole family unit depending on you, but also supporting you and loving you. That is the foundation of a man's mental well-being, I think. I really think that's the foundation. I do consider myself lucky in a way that I'm close with my baby cousin, so it was cool to see him react to all the different animals and everything, but that's not the same, obviously, as if it was my own offspring. But I remember there was a moment where I was standing there at this big window that supposedly had a lion in it. I was looking all around, scanning every nook and cranny with my eyes, just trying to spot this lion. This is one of the biggest draws to bring people to the zoo in the first place. It's a freaking lion, king of the jungle. Obviously, I'm not going to miss out on seeing the lion, but I wish I had. Because eventually I spotted it, and it was just, I swear to God, this lion was basically me as a lion. He was just lying there with his eyes barely open. He had flies all over his face, and he was so defeated, he didn't even swat them away. He just let the flies crawl all over his face. He looked like he had mange or something. His mane was pathetic, honestly. I was expecting to see something like Mufasa. Bro looked more like the sloth or whatever it was from Ice Age. It was just sad to see. He was just full on Eldar mode, just laying there rotting. And I was standing there for a few minutes while my mom went to change my baby cousin, and it was just brutal. Like, people kept walking up to see this lion, and then when they finally spotted it, I swear, every single time, people would just be like, "What the hell is this? Is that even a lion? We paid to see this?" I remember this one group of kids that all came running up, just hyped as all get out. They were just hyped on seeing the lion, and then they saw it, and they were all like, "Is he sick? Is he okay? Mommy, what's wrong with him? What's wrong with the lion?" And I remember thinking it felt like they might as well have been reacting to me. Because I'm just as bald, slopped, and defeated as that lion. And just like how the lion just lays there all day rotting, so do I. Or I did before my cousin was born. I have to take care of him most days now, so that is productive, I guess. But yeah, me and this lion had a lot in common. And the biggest thing is, why is this lion so depressed? Why does he just let the flies walk around on his face instead of swatting them away? Like, doesn't he even care? Well, it's obvious what the problem is. He's a full-grown, warm-blooded, apex predator supposed to be out roaming around, building up a harem of lionesses, hunting gazelles and shit, but instead, he's locked up here in this tiny enclosure, all alone, by the way. I'm pretty sure he was the only lion there. It's all just so unnatural. The lion is locked in this cage, right? But that's not the biggest problem. Or that's not the root of the issue. The core of the problem is that he's being locked out of experiencing all the things a male lion is supposed to be experiencing. He's locked out of mating. He's locked out of building his legacy. He's all alone. He's locked out of hunting. I don't know what they feed him, but I kind of doubt they give him live prey. But even if they did, there wasn't even enough room to run in his tiny little enclosure. So that's another thing. He's locked out of just having the freedom to roam. Just roam around and plant his seed. Yeah, no shit the lion just lays there rotting while flies walk around on his face 2 inches from his eyeballs. What the fuck else is he supposed to do? He's in a cage. He's not able to live life like a lion is supposed to. What else is he supposed to do? And I thought about it, and it's like, I relate so much to that lion. You know, I had infinite potential when I was young. Not to toot my own horn, but I am somewhat intelligent, I think. I'm taller than average. I don't think my face is completely fucked up. Back when I had hair, I was okay looking. I even had a period of time when I would say I was actually good looking. It didn't last long, though. But anyways, despite all that, right now, as an adult, I might as well be locked in a cage. Because just like that lion, I am locked out of experiencing all the things that a grown man is supposed to be experiencing. And it's not for lack of trying. Trust me, I did try. Nothing worked. I'm a man, okay? I'm supposed to plant my seed, period. You can say, oh, well, that's not the meaning of life. Reproducing isn't the meaning of life. Like hell it isn't. I'm a human man. We evolved over freaking millennia, millions of years, billions maybe, I don't know. But every single person living today got here the same way. We all got here because our dads fucked. Okay? Whether or not it's the meaning of life, you cannot deny it is a normal, expected part of human existence. But I don't get to have that. I've tried. I've tried every sort of self-improvement you can think of. I had a good job. To everybody that leaves comments all the time, like, why don't you just get a job, loser Maxon? Get a freaking job. I had a job, okay? I had a good job. I was making what is now the equivalent of about $92,000 a year, adjusted for inflation. Say what you want, but I think that's a respectable salary. But not a single woman on planet Earth gave one iota of a damn. I'm just locked out of dating. I'm locked out of getting to just sit on the couch with my girl and watch a stupid movie on Netflix while we crack jokes and just sit there together, enjoying each other's company. I'm locked out of having a woman playfully slap me on the arm after I make a slightly edgy joke. I'm locked out of these normal human experiences that every single man going all the way up my whole family tree all got to have. And I'm locked out of it. And I don't think it's all my fault. I think a big part of it is just the time I was born in. The statistics do show there's more single men these days than ever before. So obviously there is something going on environmentally that's making it harder for men these days. But, you know, I talk about all the causes and everything in a lot of my videos. But right now I just want to vent. Because I just saw the king of the fucking jungle laying down and rotting in his cage, looking to be in a bad way. Okay, this lion was not doing well. And then I turned my head and I saw a young mother with 2 kids and her happy as could be husband walking by, all holding hands, like all 4 of them all holding hands in a chain. I look back at the lion and I'm not even making this up. I swear. He was looking at me with his one eye barely open. And when I looked over at him, he moved his head just ever so slightly. But, call me schizo if you want, but I'm pretty sure he was trying to tell me, like, yeah, bro, I know. Because me and this lion, we're living the same life, essentially. Okay, I know the lion wasn't actually trying to commiserate with me, but that is what it looked like. And truly, my experience is not that different from what he's going through. I don't know why I keep doing this, but my mom always gets these ideas to take my baby cousin to these different places, and then I go along too to help look after him. Like, for example, we went to a tulip farm a few weeks ago, and I didn't really know what to expect, but it's basically like a festival almost. I thought it would just be a place where you can pick some flowers and take pictures or whatever, but they had all these different vendors and everything, live music. It was a whole thing, pretty much like a festival. But of course, just like the zoo, it was mostly either families or couples out on a date. And it was really bad too, because everybody was all dressed up for pictures. All the women were wearing sundresses, which, you get around just one attractive woman in a sundress and it makes your testosterone levels rise. Imagine being surrounded by young women wearing sundresses. If I had dropped and done 20 push-ups, I would have looked like frickin' Ronnie Coleman by the time I stood back up. My test levels were going through the roof. And it ain't nothing but a peanut, but there's no way for me to channel that energy appropriately. I'm locked out of that. I'm locked out of getting to actually experience what it's like to love a woman and have her love me back. I'm locked out of even getting to have the getting to know each other stage, like I'm sure plenty of the young couples I saw that day were experiencing. I don't get to have that. I'm like the lion, locked up behind a big pane of triple reinforced glass. I can see all the pretty ladies walking by in their sundresses and their cut-off shorts. I can see the guys that get to hold hands with these pretty ladies and probably get to do a lot more than that with them. I can see them smiling. I can see them laughing together. So I am well aware of what a normal human man's experience is, but I'm locked away from it all. I'm locked out of it. I can see it, but I can't experience it for myself. The tulip farm was brutal too. There was so many couples taking engagement photos and pregnancy photos, I guess, where the man and the woman are like putting their hands together to make a heart over the woman's belly, that kind of thing. And I was just kind of walking around looking at flowers, trying not to end up in the background of some happy couple's photo. Can you imagine 10 years from now, some couple showing their engagement photos to their kids, and there's just some ugly, bald loser with bad posture lurking in the background? I don't know, they could probably Photoshop me out, but it was tough being in that environment. It really does feel like being locked up in a cage, being forced to watch all the happy people that are living freely while I'm locked up. Actually, if you think about it, guys like us actually have it worse than the lion, because the lion isn't forced to watch other lions experiencing all the things that he can't have. My life is like if a lion was locked up in a cage that was being towed around the savannah like a sub-5 Inkwell safari. That's what my life is like. So, in a way, I envy the lion. I mean, if I'm not locked out of living a normal life, then tell me why I did everything a man is supposed to do, but I never got any of the rewards that a man is supposed to get. Explain that to me. The fact is that just due to some combination of my physical appearance and my personality, I just don't get to experience love. I don't get to know what it's like to receive affection from a woman. I'm too ugly or something. Or maybe it is just my personality. For all you people that say, you're not even that bad looking, you're okay, I actually think you're handsome. Well, whatever. Even if that is true, and it is just my horrible personality that makes people hate me and makes women repulsed by me, okay, so what? It makes no difference. I'm locked out of happiness either way. I'm locked out of having a normal experience as a man on this planet either fucking way. So it doesn't matter if it's because I'm ugly or if it's because my personality is ugly. Whatever, same difference, okay? So I don't know why y'all even leave that comment. But I know it's like I'm not allowed to have these things. Because again, I tried it all, okay? I looks maxed. I worked out, gym maxing, whatever you want to call it. I did it, and I did pretty good at it, okay? I was in pretty good shape physically. Even now, my physique is not horrible. But back in the day, my physique was literally Chad level, okay? And that's not an exaggeration. I was like easily top 3% of men in terms of my body physique. And I'm not exaggerating, okay? I was ripped and what most people would call jacked. And I had a six-pack, okay? I looked good in my body. But it's, what good does that do me when my cranium is bald and creepy? It's like so small. My skull is so small that it looks creepy. I look like the frickin' the Nightmare Before Christmas skeleton guy. That's what the fuck my head looks like. So I'm trying to not say the F word so much. That's what the frick my head looked like. Whatever. Who cares? Fuck it. Frick it. Look, I worked my ass off too. That's something else I've done. Okay? And by the way, I know you may not realize this. I still do work my ass off. I am an entrepreneur. Say what you want, but I am an entrepreneur. I'm on pace to make about $30,000 this year, as long as things keep going how they are going with my channel. And I know that's poverty wages, but that's all me, okay? I made that happen without waking up to an alarm. So, can I get some pussy or something? You know? I feel like that meme, the old, can I has cheeseburger? That's me, okay? Like, I've put in the work. I'm ambitious. I am a mildly successful entrepreneur. Honestly, I don't even think I'm that unattractive whenever I look in the mirror. So, can I have some pussy now? Like, the fuck? Some men do everything right and they get rewarded for it. But some men, like me, do everything right. But society says, fuck you, frick you, I guess. And I get nothing. My hard work earns me more hard work, if anything. All my looks maxing efforts earned me an encyclopedic knowledge of how to lift weights and dress decently. As if that's of any use. I'm probably just double autistic now just from putting all that crap in my brain. And by the way, guys, I was just joking with the whole I can have cheeseburger thing, and what I said with that. I really don't even care that much about the actual act of sex. That's not what I really want. It's not what I really need. That's just a proxy for what a man really needs in order to feel fulfilled. I just need to know that even one woman on this planet would choose me above anyone else. That's all any man ever needed ever in the entire history of humanity. That's it. But that's just a thing of the past for a lot of us these days. Because all these women can just get on Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, whatever, and they can see 1,000 men that are better than me in every conceivable way, and they can literally physically meet up with those men. Shit, I wish I had it as good as that fucked up mangy lion. I wish my biggest problem was a bunch of flies landing on my face. And I will apologize for calling the lion fucked up. Like, it's not his fault. But listen, humans are social creatures. It is baked into our DNA to value human connection, to be a part of a tribe, be a part of a community, a part of a family. And the natural progression for a man has always been, You start off as a son, you develop into a citizen, and you become a husband and a father because you earned it by contributing to your community. Even if all you're doing is wage slaving away at some low-paying job, you're still paying a lot into taxes over the years. You still deserve some reward for the effort you're putting in. And some men today still are rewarded for their efforts. But some of us aren't. But they still expect us to contribute. We're still supposed to pay taxes and everything. We're still supposed to work. It's ridiculous. I don't even blame women, at least not on an individual level, because, they can be hyper-selective in this modern society. It is not irrational for them to be that way. But I do blame society, and I do blame all the old folks, the older men, the boomers. They already got theirs, so they don't even give a hoot what guys like me are going through. Half the time, they don't even believe it's really like how it is, how we say it's like. If I'm the mangy lion locked up in the zoo, then all these dumbass, greedy boomer politicians and CEOs, they're the zookeepers. And young women these days are like the little birds at the zoo. They're still in the zoo, but they get to fly around at least. They get to spread their wings. But I'm locked out of experiencing even just my basic needs as a man. It's not a skill issue. I'm just locked out of it. I did everything right. Society did not uphold their end of the bargain. I'm like a hamster just running on the hamster wheel while they all watch me tiring myself out for nothing. I want to get married someday. I want to have kids. I want to play catch with my own son or my daughter, whichever. I want to teach my own offspring how to ride a bike just like my dad taught me. Why don't I get to do that? A lot of men do get to do that. Why don't I? I swear, our dads have no idea what it's like these days. My dad never would have made it in this economy, in this dating market. Absolutely not. He would have been locked out too. But he came up in a time when we actually had a functioning social contract. But that is ancient history now. Rest in peace, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, whatever. If only you knew how badly they have distorted your ideas and weaponized them against us. It's crazy they still teach young boys coming up these days that there is a social contract in this society, and if they work hard and everything, then they will get to live a good life, just like their father did before them. But it's just absolutely not true for a whole lot of us. A lot of us are just surplus. That's why they call us excess men, excess males. They only need for 10% of men to actually get to live a good life in order to trick the rest of us into toiling away for nothing, just contributing to the overall good of all the women in society and the chosen few men like total cucks, while we ourselves are locked out of happiness, locked out of what should be normal human experiences. Whatever. The anteater was cool though. If you enjoyed the video or you feel like you got anything out of it, please check out some of my other videos. There's also some secret videos you can watch for free on my Patreon. No sign up required, so check that out. And as always, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.